In a recent statement, a Ford executive has come out and says that he thinks that consumers don't care about engines, powertrains, etc. the same way they did 30 years ago, and he may actually have a point, except he kind of doesn't. Now, for most of, well, us, and when I say us, the slightly unhinged auto enthusiasts, the best kind of people, that is one of the dumbest things to ever come out of an executive's mouth that we could have potentially ever heard. And as much as this kind of sucks to hear, the average person, well, they absolutely do not care about engines and all that other sort of stuff that we spend hours thinking about. The average consumer, they look at a car the same way we look at a refrigerator, i.e. it's a tool to do the job. In this case, the job, well, it just so happens to be getting them from point A to point B without making it an unduly miserable experience. So they absolutely do not care what is under the hood as long as it works, as long as it propels the car forward, and as long as it's, well, faster than walking and less of a pain in the rear end than public transportation, they're good with it. So on the face of it, it may look like Lawler actually has a point. However, he really doesn't, and you don't really have to look farther than his crosstown rival, Dodge, to see why. Now, I use Dodge and their pickup truck brethren Ram as an example because it's very well publicized that when they axed the V8, their consumers absolutely hated it. The new Charger and Challenger are arguably one of the biggest flops in recent memory. Ram sales are way down with no V8 option. The Hurricane Straight 6, it was met with a lot of intrigue. An American Straight 6 engine that's capable of making a ton of horsepower. Now, you can make an argument that when you look at the average pickup truck buyer, you could say that they're not really an enthusiast, or at least not like, well, us. And that's not taking anything away from them. However, they still absolutely care about the driveline, the power, the engine, the transmission, all of that sort of stuff. And usually, well, not usually, pretty much all of them want everything to be as simple as possible. Heck, pickup trucks are body on frame for a reason. They have old school transfer cases for a reason. They usually have pretty simplistic V8s for a reason. All of this stuff has been vetted for decades. It's easy to repair, it's not complicated, and people like that. Not for nothing, all Lawler has to do is go and look at recent history of Ford with the F-Series and notice that even though they said that the EcoBoost engines were better in every way than the V8s, yeah, people still didn't care. The only difference between them and Dodge is they actually had the intelligence to not axe the V8 completely, and wouldn't you know it, people preferred that V8 to the new Wunderkind 6-cylinder with turbos. And also, you need to very much remember that even though they're pretty much impractical for most people who buy them, pickup trucks are still the best selling vehicles in America, and it's by a wide margin.